At this point, I think it's a good time to do a little bit of the layout. I want to show you where the settlement tank's going to go, where the skimmer's going to be located, and then we're going to have to put some trenching and run all our plumbing to all those different things back to the life support station, where we'll have the pump and the air pump and the UV and other types of filtration that we use for the pond. So first things first, we're gonna have the bottom drain is gonna come out through the side of the pond, somewhere in this location. We're gonna have to trench from the very bottom. We're gonna have to tunnel underneath the bond beam, pop out over here, and I'm gonna set it off the pond's edge a little bit so we can do some landscaping to disguise the settlement tank. Now the settlement tank is approximately 32 inches around. So I'm gonna dig a 36-inch hole, and that's where our settlement tank will go. And that'll be at grade, so it'll be below water level, and we'll be able to hide it with the landscape very easily. Now the skimmer, the skimmer I'm gonna place on this side of the pond. Waterfall's coming in across this way. We're gonna have a return jet pushing water, getting the water to rotate in this fashion in the pond. Now we're gonna have air coming up from the bottom of the drain. So as the air comes up and the bubbles hit the top, everything gets pushed to the outside of the pond, and the waterfall and the current will make things swirl in the pond like so, and we're gonna have it come over here to the skimmer. Now, since we're so deep and we don't have an easy way to get in and out of the pond, I'm gonna set the skimmer back around 5 or 6 feet, and we'll make this small area where we'll be able to climb out of the pond nice and easy. So for example, on top of the bond beam, we're gonna have coping stones throughout the entire pond. If a dog should fall in, maybe can't get out, they'll be able to come over this small shelf and climb up and get out of the pond very easily. So I'm gonna make a mark over here, about 5 feet back. And we're gonna probably place the skimmer somewhere in this area. I still have about 5 feet off the house, so we can have a pathway. So skimmer's gonna be in this area. And then we'll carve it out like so. We'll be able to put some interesting rocks in here. This will be a 9 or 10 inch shelf that we'll be able to have water here. You could be able to climb right out of the pond if you're down in there. Now the neat thing about where I'm placing the skimmer is it's also gonna take away from the round shape, the overall round shape of the pond when you're standing outside looking down at it. Once these holes are dug and we have the units placed in there, we're gonna have a trench lead all the way back to the life support station. And that's where we'll have our plumbing. We'll have to dig a trench through here, and we'll have all of our lines shoot in through here. We'll also trench from this area over to the settlement tank as well, because we'll have a suction line from there. Thank you, Josh. So I'm gonna set the 2 units in place that we'll be using. This is our settlement tank and the skimmers right here. I'm gonna set them in location, so when we go to start excavating them, my guys will be able to use this as reference to see if they're deep enough and if they're wide enough to get the plumbing in. So these guys will be set in place. Let's go look at the plumbing. We have a couple trenches opened up, and I want you to take careful consideration when you have the trenches opened up to make sure you have all your plumbing runs ran inside of the trenches before you backfill them. One little trick that Josh is doing right here is we like to tape up our ends of our pipe if we're gonna walk away from it for a little bit. That way some dirt and debris doesn't get caught up in the pipes. So right now I have 2 suction lines, and one's gonna come from the skimmer and one's gonna come from the settlement tank. And I'm also gonna sneak this 3/4 inch line into the same trench, and it's gonna sneak all the way around to the bottom drain so it can inject air into the diffuser dome.